It has been many years since the Knox Event. The zombie infection, which began in a small town in Kentucky, USA, has conquered the globe. Billions of people have died since that fateful July day in 1993. Small, fragmented bands of survivors scavenge the remains of civilization. Theresa Day has a special mission. She has been dropped off where it all began, Knox County. She must fight, survive, and hopefully find some answers. While she has received some special training which will assist her on this impossible journey, she definitely wasn't the first choice for this job. Many have come here before her with this same mission and never been heard from again. The date is July 9th, sometime in the late 90s. Welcome, friends, to the Zombie Apocalypse. I'm Juniper, and I'd like you to meet our hero, Theresa Day. Theresa is in a very dangerous situation. They need to gather a few critical items and then get out of here. Looks like both our front door and our back door are barricaded. We have the 10 years later erosion mods as well as the barricaded world, so we are in a tough situation right now because we do not have an unlocked, or we do not have an accessible front or back door. But we've got some good things here. I've got a kettle which I can use to boil water, and I've got a bowl which will be very handy. Not much else though. I think we have no food. It's not good. Do need some food. First aid kit I don't need. Painkillers and vitamins I need. Uh-oh. I know which house this is. Boots, I guess I'll wear those. This house has a bug currently, and that you can't actually access the rest of it. So it's a bug with the map, and it means that we are, oops, no, don't. Okay. I got very lucky. I forgot to remove the glass on that window and didn't die, so that's good. Is this a fence? Anybody inside? Yes. Okay. This frying pan is about to break. Did I bring a secondary weapon? I didn't. Alright. Okay, this is not good. I probably shouldn't be fighting this because there's two more in the house there. Might not be able to take all of these on my own. We'll give it a shot, though. Please rip the shirt. Anybody have a watch for me? Okay, so I got two of them there. Really would like to get into this house. Okay, so there's even more zombies coming. This is looking grim. I don't know if we can do this. All right, we're going the other way now. We have no weapons and we have no food. This is not looking like a great start. All right. I guess I'll take the mug as something to carry water in. So far, we're not being attacked by any zombies. Alright, we found some food. I know there's canned food over there, but the canned food weighs so much that I really can't take the canned food. Are they inside? Is that what I hear? No? Oh, there's food on the ground here. Okay, there's one inside. Doesn't seem very concerned. Here, another one close by, perhaps upstairs. Alright, don't need any of this. Oh, don't know where you came from. Came through the window. What I really want is these chips on the ground. Ooh, and these cigarettes. That's a good find. Our character here is a smoker. Alright, we're gonna do a quick check upstairs. Oh. I can't stomp on you on the stairs, apparently. Anything in here? A gun case? Boris the Badger? Alright, if we can get this gun case, that'll help us a little bit. It is not good for carry weight. Don't need the gun right now. Okay. Don't need those rip sheets either. Is this another bugged wall? Excellent. Love the bugged walls. Blue pen. Doorknob. Another gun case. These people had a lot of guns. Okay, well, we have one weapon now. Is that going to be enough? Yikes. Alright, so I have to unequip this gun case in order to go over this fence. Okay. So we're going to go escape this way. We're going to take a risk that there's nobody here. Then we are getting out of here. Alright, well, there are zombies here. And there are a lot of them. So if anyone is familiar with the game, I'll run through this. What we're doing here is we're playing on 8 times population on a many years later, kind of 6 months later-ish playthrough. Obviously, there's a lot of vegetation. There's a really cool mod that's enabled that. But I'm playing on 8 times population. So the standard mode for the game, Apocalypse, starts you with, I think it's like 0.5 population to start, and then it ramps up to 1.5, something along those lines. But in this particular game, we've set the zombie population to be 8 times day 1. There's no ramp time. 100% of all the zombies that are going to ever exist in this world exist in this world right now, and they're all trying to eat me. So I don't exactly remember where I am here, but I know we're going we're going northeast. It always screws me up. That's why I have to change the, ooh, I would love to have that duffel bag. That would be nice. It always screws me up, the directions on the map. That's okay. Zoom out a little bit here. You can see where we're going. Where we've been. Alright, I think I know where we are. We are right on the east side of this region of Louisville. We need to start going north. So, Theresa Day here is determined. They have a daunting task ahead of them. First of which is getting out of here. Second of which has to pay a short visit to a folk festival. Then the goal is to wipe out all the zombies. Save the town. We'll see. It's not really a challenge in that I'm not really setting a specific challenge goal here, but I would love to get as far as I can in clearing out all the zombies in the entire city. It's definitely challenging. There's hundreds of thousands of zombies here. So we'll see what actually ends up happening. I'm not exactly sure, but at the end of the day, we're here to tell a good story. We're not playing the game on strictly vanilla settings with, oops, that could be death. Okay, we're alright. Trees are very scary. Alright, trees are quite scary. Look at this. Oh no. So yeah, we're not playing the game on, strict vanilla settings. We have mods that make the game easier and whatnot, so I'm not trying to prove anything specific here, just trying to play the game, have fun, and tell a good story. So, first step here is to get out of town. There's a suspiciously low amount of zombies here. We might have an opportunity to check this trunk. Screwdriver. Okay, we have a second. We have a second weapon. Check this guy too. Nothing. Nothing. We have a second weapon. Screwdriver is not a good weapon, but it is a weapon. It is more of a weapon than not a weapon. So yeah, we're just walking along here. This might be a good opportunity to go through kind of what the character is. So, I don't know what order these are in. First of all, we've got slow healer. This is a negative trait. It means that we heal slowly. Something like a bone fracture would be very bad for us. It could take us months of game time to heal. So breaking a bone is not something we want to do. Conspicuous. This means we're more likely to be noticed by zombies. Actual impact of this I've found to be pretty minimal. It's not something that I'm that concerned about taking. So the zombies notice me a bit more. That's fine. Prone to illness. So this means you're more likely to get sick if you... Another duffel bag. You're more likely to get sick if you eat rotten food, for example. But I do not intend to eat any rotten food. Smoker means we get anxious. Theresa's going to get stressed out if we don't find cigarettes, which I believe we did. So we found cigarettes. The only thing that we don't have here that we really need is something to start a fire with. Matches are very handy for that, but a saw would also work. We can't light a cigarette with a saw. Ooh, a hand axe. But we could light a fire with a saw. And getting water is going to be much more important than our cigarettes at the end of the day. All right, we got a weak stomach. I'm not actually sure what this means compared to prone to illness, but it doesn't seem to have much of an impact. I don't know if I've ever played a game without weak stomach, and I don't think I've had any issues. Slow reader. Because we're playing single player, we're not playing this game in multiplayer, I have the ability to speed up time up here, so slow reader doesn't really impact me, and I'm not planning on doing a lot of reading anyway. I didn't take any books or magazines with me at all. Alright, Axeman. This is a good positive trait. Axeman means that we get faster attack speed with axes, which is very handy. And that's the main benefit to it. We do start out with 2 levels in axes, but this is basically irrelevant. The amount of time it takes you to level up to the first 2 skill levels is basically nothing. Where are we? I'm not actually sure. I think I'm going in the right direction still. So yeah, it's really for the faster attack speed with axes, which is why Axeman is so great. Cat's eyes means it's easier to see in the dark, which can be very handy in the evening if you're caught out, not home before curfew, not home before all the zombies are trying to eat you, although I guess they're always trying to eat you, so whatever. Dexterous means you transfer inventory items quickly. This is very handy, but it's not essential. It's a nice to have. It's better for later on in a playthrough. Alright, we're going up this way. I know where we are. Outdoorsman, this one's pretty important to me. I really like Outdoorsman because it means that I can walk around outside without getting a cold, basically. I can walk in the rain, I can get wet, get sweaty. It doesn't really matter. Character isn't going to get... Alright, this is risky. This character isn't going to get a cold. Wakeful is great, just because you don't need very much sleep. You really can get a lot more done in the day. If you take something that means you need more sleep, you're going to have a lot less time in the day to get stuff done. And we have a lot of stuff to handle. Alright, walking through some trees. Ooh, that was a close one. Alright, lucky. I'm not 100% sure what the lucky stat does, but I think it means you have a higher chance of finding rare loot in containers. Gotta avoid the trees and the zombies here. Walking through trees slows you down. In the real world, if you try to walk through a tree, the wood and the bark is probably going to stop you from walking through a tree. But as you can see here, if I just walk straight through this tree, it just slows me down a little bit. I wouldn't suggest walking through a tree in real life, although it is better than running through a tree. If you're going to try one of those things, try walking through a tree first. If that goes well, then move on to running. Fast learner. Fast learner is super important because it means you just, sorry, that's not the skill menu. It means all these skills level up quicker. Makes things go a lot smoother. That was close. Another duffel bag that I can't have. We should probably eat something. Eat a bag of chips. Alright. So yeah, fast learner means you level stuff up faster, which is very handy, especially for these guys up here. Fitness and strength are passive skills, and a lot of people don't realize just how important they are to the gameplay. So anything that increases the rate at which I gain fitness and strength levels is good. I started a bit low. Typically a normal character would start with 5 levels in each, but I've specifically chosen to start with 4 to give myself more points to spend on positive traits. Alright, we're getting kind of close to our next destination, and I haven't been eaten yet. It's pretty close though. Walking through the trees like this in such a densely populated area takes a lot of focus. We're out of water. Do I have anything I can eat that gives me water? Why am I not... I forgot about this. I forgot that I got this gun case as a container. I think we'll eat the fruit jam. Alright. Look at this. We've made it to a folk festival. I actually think it's called a music festival, but I've decided that it's a folk festival just because that sounds more interesting than just a music festival. Alright, where was I? Herbalist. Herbalist is a great skill to take if you plan on having to run away from a lot of zombies and go hide in the forest for a while, which is basically what we've got to do here since there's so many of them. Herbalist means that when you forage and you identify, when you find mushrooms and berries while foraging, sometimes you can find ones that are poisonous, and by default, I think that's a soda can. I'm going to take that and drink it. Does I have one on me? Don't. Oh, there's a couple soda cans on the ground. Oh, it's a beer can. Okay, well, we are not going to... Empty bottle is a water bottle. I have to take that for now. We're not going to drink the beer now. If it was soda, I would drink it, but beer is not something we want. Alright, we're going to take this tent down. If you haven't figured it out, this is why we're here. We are here at the Folk Festival to pick up some supplies. We are not here for the music or the good times. Uh-oh. I have miscalculated slightly. Alright, we're going to drag everybody over here so we can make another pass back over there. Unless there are more fire pits on the other side, I don't see any. Oh, there's instruments up on the stage. That's sweet. There's a guitar up there. I mean, it wouldn't really be a music festival without guitars strewn about. Alright, we're starting to get anxious. Anxious is not good, but it's not terrible yet. Alright, we're going to take this real quick. Good job. Alright, we have everything we need to survive in the middle of nowhere, except for a lighter. Maybe in this box. Nothing in the box. Well, it could be worse, But we are definitely going to need a lighter, because we don't have lighter, we don't have matches, we don't have a saw. Without those things, we're not going to be able to boil water. Is this empty? Empty beer can. Put this one. Empty bottle. Need something to start a fire with. Alright, we're gonna jump this fence over here, and we're gonna take a little bit of a risk. We're gonna burn some endurance. It takes endurance to jump a fence. And we're gonna hope we can find a lighter or a saw or something in the cars in the parking lot here. You know, this is a pretty big looking folk festival. Aren't that many cars in the parking lot, you know? Doesn't really make sense. Can there be lighters in the trash? No. That's okay. Right, little hop here. Alright. Now it's time to get risky. Alright. See if we can do this safely. Yeah, I don't trust it. Alright, the rest of this parking lot looks kind of clear. Metal pipe. It's a weapon. One-handed, apparently. Cigarettes, matches. Alright, we got what we need. That was a risky maneuver. I got in the car on one side, hopped out the car on the other side. We have everything we need. This is looking pretty good. I'm actually going to equip this metal pipe, since it's a bit better of a weapon. Oh, no, wait a second. We've made a critical error. Somebody forgot that they drop their secondary held container, bag, whatever, when they hop a fence. So, I'm a bit of a dummy. Forgot about that. I remembered it earlier. Put it in the inventory earlier. I'm gonna have to go back for it because it has the tent and the campfire materials in it. We need both of those things. Alright, so we don't need to worry too much about avoiding zombies at this point. The reason I jumped the fence was to let me get closer to the vehicles without anybody noticing. The real trick here is going to be... Oh, there it is. Can I pick it up from here? No. Alright, we're gonna jump the fence again. Equip this secondary. Alright, we're good to go. We're good to go. We have a fairly heavy load, but as you can see, as you can kind of see, because it's not easy to read, this doesn't have huge impacts on us yet. We're only over our carry weight by a small amount. And I can help that by eating, but I'm not gonna. I don't think it's worth it. At this point, it just means the main impact here is that our endurance goes down faster, which is regrettable, but not the end of the world. Nothing in the trunk. I'm not going to push my luck and check any more glove boxes. So it can get pretty risky, though it looks like I have a lot of time, unless I screw up, which is always possible. Alright, nothing I need in here. Check some trunks and then we'll be on our way. We really need to drink something. Empty water bottle. Nothing in there. What do I have that I can drink? I don't think I have anything that will give me thirst. Except for the beer. Which will be not good. Don't want to drink the beer. Maybe a little bit later. We're not going to die of thirst, but we are getting close. I can clear this anxious though. We still holding our gun case? Yeah. Alright, we cleared one of our moodles here. We still have fairly heavy load, we're thirsty, and we're very scared. Alright, let's go back to going over the traits. We talked about Herbalist. Herbalist lets you identify which berries and which mushrooms are poisonous. So if I don't have this trait, I would have to find the Herbalist magazine. And kind of like the Generator magazine, you need the Herbalist magazine if you want to use foraging for food. So I don't have to find the magazine because I took the trait. Next up is Keen Hearing. Keen Hearing is super important because basically your rear sight section is all the way back here. And if you don't take Keen Hearing, the zombie would already be invisible behind me. So it's a really powerful trait to take, and I highly recommend it. It really helps you keep your awareness up. Very good trait. Next up is Organized. This one's kind of whatever. It's not super critical. It's nice to have. I'm gonna hop through here real quick. So yeah, basically you just can fit more stuff into containers. Just, it's nice. You can put more in the trunk of a car, but it's not gonna change the game too much. Thick-skinned, kind of the same way. This thick-skinned means that when you get scratched or hurt by a zombie, it has a lower chance to actually injure you. You have the likelihood that you will not be injured when you are attacked by a zombie is higher. But at the end of the day, if you get touched by a zombie, avoiding that is the primary concern. Avoiding getting touched by a zombie is super important. How many zombies do I have on me? I don't know if I have time for this. I can try. Ooh. There's the dexterous coming in clutch right there. So I was able to, I can't do it without stopping. I was able to snag this satchel, which is, oops, I don't have enough time there. I was able to snag the satchel, which is a much better bag than the gun case that I'm carrying down here. I'm actually going to start heading south. The population in these unfinished homes is a little bit too high. It's almost like there's a lot of people here for unfinished houses, but there's also a lot more people, a lot more zombies in this game because of my 8x population than what would normally be there. Alright, look at us go. We're going to take all this stuff and we are going to put it into our normal backpack here. This will help us out a lot. How heavy is the gun case? 0.5? That's not too bad. Alright, well, we're doing pretty good. We have a full set of matches. We got food, water bottles, mugs, kettle. The cooking pot holds a bit more water than the kettle does, so it's a little bit better, but kettle boils water just fine. Look at us go. I like having a real backpack as opposed to carrying around a satchel. Didn't help us much. The satchel only has 30% weight reduction. But I can hop fences like I did without having it fall on the ground. They patched it, but it used to be that if you were carrying something like I was earlier, the gun case, and you hopped a fence, you would still drop it, like I did earlier. However, you could pick it up through the fence. So you can right-click on the fence and pick it up, and you could pick it up through the fence, which was very handy. However, they took that out, and probably for the best. It doesn't really make sense that you can pick up something through a fence. So yeah, I would say we're looking pretty good. I would love to have more weapons, but that's okay. We have the essentials. We have everything we need to survive. It's not going to be a very pleasant survival at the start, but we're going to get there, and everything is going to be just fine. Let's take a look at our skills again. So we have basically nothing. We start off with just a little bit lower fitness and strength, like I said, and a little bit in access. Everything else is totally blank. We didn't bring any books with us, so we have no skill bonuses that we can possibly get. Books are just way too heavy, and as you can tell, with everything that I have here, I'm already carrying too much, so bumped it up a little bit if I eat, but it's not super critical that I eat at this point. Would be nice to keep my endurance up, but it's not important. So yeah, we start with no skills. We have to grow it all from here, one way or another. Alright, feeble. Feeble is a negative trait which decreases your strength by 2. So just taking feeble on a normal character would take your strength from 5 down to 3. However, one of the benefits of the Axeman trait that I took adds 1 to your strength, so it comes out at 4. After that, I have out of shape. Out of shape means that I don't have 5 points in fitness. No matter what you do, even if you don't take out of shape as a character trait, if you take anything like overweight, which decreases your fitness by 1 point, you're going to end up with the out of shape. And this will clear as soon as you get to level 5. So I'm pretty sure it does. I think both out of shape and overweight will clear on certain conditions. Overweight, for example, I'm at 95 right now, and overweight should clear when I get to about 85, and that'll happen eventually. Being overweight doesn't impact you that much. It's just a starting condition that decreases your fitness, I believe. If anybody knows differently, if anybody knows that being overweight has some modifier on your fighting abilities, though, please let me know. Would love to hear about it. Or the same way for out of shape, too. It's like, these two, I think, both go away. I think feeble also goes away. So if anybody knows something about those traits that I don't know, fill me in. But that's it. That's our character. And we've done a lot of talking here, done a lot of walking here, and we are finally free from zombies. I can take my fingers off the keyboard for a minute. Pretty happy about that. So as you can see, we're over here by the river. River is an infinite source of non-potable water. That's why I have the kettle. With the kettle, we can survive indefinitely. Basically, it's the combination of the fire pit, kettle, the tent, herbalist trait. Those things mean that we can basically survive forever. If we had a saw, we'd be able to survive forever without doing anything, I think. I could be wrong. There could be something else that I'm missing in here that we need. But basically, if you have a saw, you have an infinite source of fire starting materials, because with a saw you can make a sturdy stick, you can make a drill plank, and with those things you can start a campfire without matches, just like in real life. Alright, we're getting close to our destination. I wish I had a watch, but my guess is it's probably around 9 p.m. in the game, which is pretty early. It's actually worried it would take us longer to get here, but we can go ahead and drink a beer. There's no reason we can't drink a beer. We've had a long day. We deserve a beer. Anybody following us? Nope. All right. Well, this is a good spot to take a break. Thanks everybody for joining me on this epic adventure. We got a lot more to do. We've only killed 8 zombies, but that's just the beginning. The goal here: clean out everybody in the entire city of Louisville. Build some cool bases, do some cool stuff. Gonna have a lot of fun. Thanks a lot for joining me. Bye-bye. Okay, let's run through the setup for this run real quick here. I will be pretty brief. Got a car mod for Land Rovers. 10 years later is a big one, changes a lot of the vegetation, and also this changes the look of the cars in the world to match the 10 years later aesthetic. We got some better sorting for books enabled. Got antique armory and antique armory armor. I've got some tweaks that I made for this, which I'll show you in a minute. and the armor mod, which can be a bit overpowered, but we'll probably never find them, so it doesn't matter. Authentic Z is pretty fun. Bunch of cool zombies, different types of zombies added to the world. Barricade World adds to the theme of the 10 years later playthrough. Clear description from Moodles is pretty self-evident. It's a config mod. This lets you put katanas on your belt. Keeps track of your kills. This one's just fun. This one keeps track of your different stats and your needs, so you can see it pretty easily. It's options. This one adds some more maps to the world. This one gives you the ability to spawn in Louisville. I could have set it for all spawns, but I want to force the spawn in Louisville for this. Alright, Spears mod. Swap it lets you simply and easily swap stuff between your hands and your back. Twinkies Van's just fun. I saw this relatively recently. Looked like it could be pretty fun. Vitamin Holic is very handy for taking a bunch of vitamins. Vorpal Weapons is very fun. If you've never played with it before, this one's pretty cool. You'll see. Weapon condition indicator is pretty standard. Just shows you the condition of your weapon. This includes my tweaks for antique armory. Nothing too big. It just changes around a few things. And a silencer that I probably won't use, frankly. Alright. Next is the setup. So in the Sandbox settings, we're going to spawn in Evergreen Hill on the south end, or sorry, on the east end of Louisville. Alright, so I'm going to load my preset here. First of all, we're starting out with zombie count as insane. Time is standard, so I'll be starting the same time and the same day as usual. However, we're going to be running 12 months later. So this means is that our water shutoff and our electricity shutoff is instant. We never have house alarms, and locked houses are extremely rare. Erosion speed is very fast. Otherwise, everything else is normal. The helicopter is set to sometimes, just because having the helicopter only pass once, kind of takes something away from the game. I want to have the repeated challenge in there. However, I've turned off meta events. This is because kind of in the theme of this run, we don't have other survivors that are surviving out there. So it just didn't make sense to have screams and other things in the game when we're supposedly playing, a decade after the zombie infection started. So I had to turn this one off. Typically I wouldn't, but it doesn't fit the theme for this. Alright, meta, I've increased slightly the chances for randomized stories, just because these can be really cool and really fun when you find them, and I don't think they're often enough in the game. You have to really play a lot to see these, and a lot of people don't see them. I've turned down the time it takes for corpses to decay. Loot is all on rare. Considered putting this on extra rare, but this isn't really going to matter for us too much. Big thing here for character is I've put 9 free trait points in. That's just to give us a little bit of a bonus in the character creation, but I'm not going to be making an extra fierce warrior. So it just gives us a little bit more freedom. Allowing the mini map lets us see where we're at. It's pretty handy if you're watching. Car spawn rate is high. This one I wouldn't necessarily do this because it's changing the setting to high would make this quite overpowered. However, I don't plan on abusing this too much, and also it doesn't make sense to me to have a zombie apocalypse that doesn't have cars literally everywhere. So I've turned the car spawn rate to high, and everything is going to be fine. Locked frequency is never, just from the 6 months later preset, and same with the car alarm frequency. Other than that, it's really just the frequency that's changed on the cars. Zombie lore changed nothing in here. Advanced zombie options, this is where the population settings get done. So the population multiplier of 4 here, this indicates insane, which is the highest that you can set for this particular base population number. And the start multiplier is 2. So what that means is that our start population will be 4 times 2. So we'll be starting with an 8 times population. We'll be starting with an 8 times population on day 1. I've set the peak day for 1. We don't have any change for the peak multiplier. So basically this is just a standard 8 times population flat. There's no ramp and nothing along those lines, and there's also no respawn. And yeah, these are the map settings. So yeah, let me show you the character creation. So I've tried to keep this pretty low key. We're sticking with the Axeman trait, just because I like playing with axes, though I won't always be playing with axes. We'll be playing with a lot of weapons because we'll have to. As far as positive traits, cat's eyes, dexterous, outdoorsman, wakeful, lucky, fast learner, herbalist. This one's going to be very important for us. Keen hearing, organized, and thick-skinned. I can probably drop organized. It's not the most important thing in the world. But as far as other traits, we have a lot of decreased strength. So we've got feeble, overweight, which reduces our fitness, slow healer, which isn't that big of a deal, conspicuous also isn't that big of a deal, prone to illness isn't that big of a deal, same with weak stomach and slow reader. Smoker will be very annoying in the beginning. We're probably going to get pretty darn unhappy because it'll be a hard time finding cigarettes to keep our character happy, but it just kind of adds to the challenge here. So you'll see down here we're starting with 4 levels of fitness and strength, as opposed to, I want to say it's 5 normally, and 2 levels of axes. I think Axeman adds 1 to strength. Yeah, so feeble decreases 2 strength and Axeman adds 1. So yeah, basically this is all we're starting with. We're starting with slightly lower combat skills, and we've got a little bit more of extra skills here for fighting and for surviving and whatnot. So all in all, this is not supposed to be a challenge run. This is a story, long-form story, which will be challenging. But I'm not really trying to prove anything here. I'm not trying to say that this is a challenge run that could be invalidated by some of my settings or some of my mods. It's just about playing the game and having fun and telling a good story. So, all right, well, let's get started. Thanks everybody for watching.